Hello, we're going to be going through a do-it-yourself kit, weatherization kit from TEP. Have a couple different things that I want to show you. We have some rope caulk. It's a caulking that you're able to put into gaps, just using your fingers. No need for a caulk gun or anything like that. We have some outlet gasket covers. We're going to show you how to install those. A window insulation kit that we can put over any leaky windows that we might have. This is a door weather stripping or window weather stripping. It's called a V-weather stripping that you just stick in with some adhesive. A door sweep, again with adhesive that we can just stick on the bottom of one of our doors. And then some foam weatherization, 1/2-inch weatherization foam. So I'm going to show you how to use the rope caulk here. So the rope caulk comes out and it's in a roll like this, and it's very similar to clay or Play-Doh. It's very easy to use, and you just take one of the strings and you peel it off carefully. If you go too fast, it'll tear very easily, and if it does tear, it's very much so okay. You can just tear off a little section like this, in fact. And section by section, we can push it into any gaps around the window that we have. So we have this gap right here that we're gonna fill, just so any air that goes around that, you just push right into there, like this. And because it's very similar to Play-Doh or a clay, you can just take another section and push it right up next to that. So peeling off another section here. We can blend that right into the last one. You can see, you can't even tell where the first section was and the second. And we can do this whole gap right here all the way alongside the window. This rope caulk's very good for if you want to caulk a window or a door or any gaps that you have in the house that are relatively small and you don't want to use a caulk gun for. It's really, really easy to use, but just as effective. We do want to make sure that the rope caulk isn't touching the movable parts of the window. So this right here, this is part of the window that would open. So we want to make sure that the rope caulk isn't on that section. There we go. We're going to be showing how to put these gasket covers on. These go on any light switch like this, any regular toggle switch, just the skinnier ones, or any outlets like we have down here. All of these have different punch outs that you can do to do the various things. So we're going to be putting it on this outlet down there, and so I just tear off the applicable punch outs. You're gonna actually have to, for this one, tear off the little center as well. And then right around here. Careful not to tear the other ones. If you do a little bit, it's not a big deal. And then tear off the gasket itself. The reason that we're installing these is because anytime that you have outlets inside of the wall here, there's air that's able to flow inside of the wall, either up into the attic or to the outside of the house through the wall. First thing that we want to do before we do this outlet is we want to make sure that the power is off on the outlet. So we've already done that, gone to the main breaker of the house and turned off the bank for this outlet. Next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to unscrew the screw on the plate. We're going to put the gasket right over the top of it like that. And then we're going to put the plate right back over the top of that. And again, that just helps seal any air from leaking around the outlet. The same process would be followed if you're going to do any of these light switches or anything else in the house. All right, today we're going to be installing this window insulation kit. Put this around any window that might be leaking some air, and that we don't want to be opening on a regular basis. Once this is in place, it's going to block all of the air from coming from the outside. And so it's very temporal. We can take it down at any time, but it's really for a leaky window that we don't want to open. Inside of the box, we have this plastic. It's all one big piece of plastic, good for about 5 windows. And then this double-sided tape. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to start unrolling the tape and putting it out along the perimeter of the window here. So I'm going to start up in this top right corner, left corner, and push it into place, just like so. There's white tape on the one side of it, so you won't be able to even see it after we pull that off. Once we get to the end, we take our scissors and cut it to length. Once we have that, we just peel off the white side of it. And like you can see, you can't even see the double-sided tape. And we're going to do that on all 4 sides of the window. All right, now that the window has tape all the way around it, next thing that we're going to do is we're going to unroll just enough plastic to go along the side of the window here. So you can just measure it out like this. Put it on one side, unroll it. It's okay if it's a little bit too big. You want it too big, not too small, because you can cut it afterwards. So we just put it to length. And then cut it right here. That way we have plenty of extra. Now that we have the plastic, I'm gonna unroll it all. This might be a place that you want someone to work with you to keep it as tight as possible as you stretch it over on the tape. Make sure that the entire piece of plastic is just one layer. You can see it's more than big enough for the window, so we're going to start in this corner right here and put it right onto our 2-sided tape. We're going to pull it as tight as we can within reason. You don't need to pull it too tight. It's okay if there's some wrinkles within the window. Now that it's all the way around, you can see that there's quite a bit of wrinkles in that. We're going to be taking that out with the hair dryer. Turn on the heat setting. And then just go over the film and it'll shrink right down to size. And then just going up the entire window, we're going to tighten that up so that there's no wrinkles in it. Today we're going to be installing the V-Seal weather stripping. This is a really good seal for around the small gaps that you might have around the door right here. First thing that we're going to do is look at our door, and we're going to be putting it right inside of here, and on the top, and then on the side over here. So Tools that you need for this, really just some way to measure it. I'm gonna just be putting it up right up against here to measure to length, and then just a regular household scissors. This has adhesive on it, so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold up the weather stripping right to the door to measure it to length. So hold it right up there, and then I just go all the way down to the bottom of the door to get the length of it. Once I get there, take my scissors and cut. Next step is you take the flat edge and you just fold it right in half, and you can see how it's all circular right now. And as we do this, it becomes straight and rigid. Next thing that we're gonna do with the V side pointed towards this, we're gonna just put it right up there and take the adhesive off and push it into place right there to make up that gap. And then I just peel back the adhesive as I push it into place. You do have to watch around the door latches and such that you are not blocking those. And if they are being blocked, you can just cut those out. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on the top here and on the other side. Once the weather stripping is in place, we can shut the door. We're going to be installing a door sweep on this door right here. Tools that we're going to need is a tape measure, a tin snips, and then something to mark it. First thing I'm going to do is measure the door. "35 inches. Stretch out the sweep. And mark where I want to cut. You cannot cut this very easily with a scissors, but a tin snips or aviation snips works really, really well. Once we've cut it, I'm going to just put it up to the door, make sure that my cut was right. Looks good. Starting on one side, I'm going to just peel off a little bit. Push it right up on the door so it's touching the ground at the same time. Peel back the tape as I push it right onto the door. We want it touching the floor, but we do not want it hard on the floor. All right. Goes right on there. And then the last thing we're going to do is just make sure that the door opens and closes just fine and is making that contact on the floor there. In a lot of homes, you might have some bigger gaps that you want to seal up. Some common things are around window air conditioners or the attic hatch up in your attic. This foam weather stripping has one side that has no adhesive on it whatsoever, and then the other side that's sticky. So you just peel off the section that you need, you cut it to length, and you stick it to whatever you need it to, and that will help seal any bigger gaps. This is approximately 1/2 inch this way, and it has a nice foam to it to seal any gaps that you might have.